Welcome back. As we promised, we are going to cover the 17th summit of the BRICS group, which is taking place even as we speak in Rio de Janeiro, with the participation of Egypt as Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli headed a high-ranking delegation to participate in the gathering, and he is participating on behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi as he is going to address the gathering, and also to have a number of meetings, whether with his counterparts or with the top executives from Brazil, and to tackle many important files of mutual concern, particularly cooperation in the field of economy and investment. To shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Professor Hassan Wageeh, Professor of International Relations. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
You are most welcome. Good morning.
Dr. Wageeh, this is the 17th BRICS summit, and of course each summit had its agenda, its challenges, but this edition, I think it's really gaining a lot of importance as it's taking place amid a number of economic crises having their negative impacts on the whole world. If you want to elaborate on that, sir.
Yes, of course, this 17th BRICS summit is extremely important, and I think that the motto will tell you something that of a concern to all developing countries, emerging economies in the world. The motto is inclusive and sustainable global south. So this is very compatible with Egypt's agenda, with all the participants, the 11 countries which formulate BRICS. And I think that Brazil and Egypt are becoming now diplomatic powerhouse for sustainable development, for de-escalation of conflicts, for paving the way for sustainable development. So the three slogans or the three conceptual words are there: equity, solidarity, and sustainability. These are the elements of the gathering today, or today and tomorrow.
Yeah, it's today and tomorrow. But, sir, also, this BRICS summit was preceded by G7 summit, G20 summit, and one of the main topics which were discussed was the protectionism policies of American President Donald Trump, or America First, including the tariffs imposed on China and on European countries, and to take also into consideration that the planet did not recover yet from the negative impacts of whether the lockdown of COVID-19 or the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. If you want to also elaborate on this and elaborate on that topic in specific as one of the main topics of the agenda of talks.
Yes, thank you. You brought to our attention the protectionist trade practices made by President Trump, our Trump administration in the United States, and it really makes people revolve around how could they treat with this America. According to Trump, he wants to say America first, and actually this have created unilateralism on the part of the United States. So the gathering here in BRICS, and thank you for also attracting our attention to other summits. You mentioned in your statement the G7 and the G20 and the BRICS. So in international relations, we teach our students the interrelationship. The G7, we must understand that the G7 is a group of countries, the wealthiest in the world. But out of G7 was created the G20, which is a dialogue between the highly developed countries and the developing countries. And the BRICS here is very connected to the G20. It is the voice of the South, the global voice of the South. So I think that when you are talking about American unilateralism, this has created a vacuum in the world for multi-culturalism, multi-dimensional poles that should emerge to fill in the gaps that was created by the unilateralism deployed by the United States.
Since you mentioned that, sir, permit me to interrupt here, because only a few days ago, the UN also held a very important gathering or conference regarding the financial development for sustainable development goals, and it was in Seville in Spain, and it was also attended by Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, and they discussed what you've exactly said. So a number or a bundle, let me call it this way, of economic conferences taking place one after the other to make sure that efforts exerted with cooperation among all countries, as if it is a message saying that cooperation among all countries is a must, it's not a luxury anymore.
Oh yes, of course, it is no more a luxury, of course. This is why the summit, the BRICS, the current BRICS 17th summit, really focuses on the concrete proposals, and that's very good. They are talking about concrete proposals for the green energy transformation, about coordination on vaccination. We are talking about nation status when it comes to the membership in World Trade Organization to formulate pressure in the right direction for these healthy concepts about sustainable development, the escalation, taking care of the economy of the countries. Yes, and also we are talking about also there is a concrete proposal about AI, which is the topic of the hour all over the world, and also reducing of carbon emissions.
Yes.
These are 6 or 7 plus other proposals being raised and discussed in this important summit.
Yes, amen to that. And also adding to this, sir, the relation between the BRICS group and Africa. And when we do have a number of African countries now included under the umbrella of BRICS, this is for the best interest of both, meaning that it's going to be a win-win situation if full and fruitful coordination and cooperation between two is guaranteed. If you want to also elaborate on this.
Yes, you mentioned something very important. And by the way, the connection you made between the big number of African countries will tell us that, the South Africa representative yesterday made a very important statement. He said that what is going to be researched and discussed in this summit will be continuing in South Africa for the G20 will be there. So there is a very compatibility between the BRICS and G20 and the African countries, as you mentioned. Also, I'd like to tell you something very important, that Egypt really started out. We started out during vaccine or COVID problem or COVID crisis. We were care about how to afford further commitment to building domestic and regional manufacturing supply chain. And Egypt played a role in that. And this is one of the most important topics when it comes to pharmaceutical companies who are members or who are invited to that BRICS summit. And I think that this capacity building thing, and Egypt care about capacity building thing inside Egypt and for Africa. And Egypt stressed that. So I think this is very interrelated now.
Amen to that. Well, Professor Hassan Wageeh, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we're going to return back with more, so stay tuned.